Imagine a time when fear gripped California. A mysterious figure stalked the streets, his identity unknown, his motives unfathomable. He left behind a trail of victims, and worse, a series of cryptic letters that taunted police and the public alike. Codes, symbols, and chilling boasts. This is the story of the Zodiac Killer, a case so infamous it continues to haunt us. Who was the Zodiac, and why did his shadow loom so large over a golden state? Stay with me as I unravel the chilling mystery of one of America's most notorious killers. The first time I heard the name Zodiac, it was whispered in a diner just outside Vallejo, California. It was July 5th, 1969. The air was thick with summer heat, and the radio hummed softly in the background, playing a love song that didn't match the tension in the room. A man at the counter was muttering to the waitress, "2 kids were shot out by Blue Rock Springs last night. Heard it was the Zodiac again." I was only passing through, but something about the way he said it chilled me. It wasn't until I picked up a newspaper the next day that I learned the full story. Just before midnight on July 4th, 1969, Darlene Farron and Mike Mageau had been parked in a secluded spot near Blue Rock Springs. According to Mageau, a man had pulled up in a car, left briefly, then returned. Without warning, he opened fire, shooting both of them multiple times. Farron didn't survive. Mageau, though critically injured, managed to describe the man. A stocky figure, around 5 feet 8 inches, with short curly hair. But the real shock came when Vallejo police received a phone call just minutes after the shooting. The caller admitted to the attack, chillingly calm, and even claimed responsibility for another murder 6 months earlier at Lake Herman Road. That was the moment I realized this wasn't just a random killer. This was someone who wanted attention, someone who wanted to be feared. Then came the letters. On August 1st, 1969, 3 newspapers, the San Francisco Chronicle, the San Francisco Examiner, and the Vallejo Times-Herald, received nearly identical letters. Each was handwritten, riddled with spelling errors, and filled with chilling details that only the killer could have known. But what truly set these letters apart were the cryptograms. 3 parts of a single cipher containing 408 symbols. The Zodiac demanded the newspapers print the ciphers on their front pages, threatening to kill if they refused. The threat worked. The ciphers were published, and the city buzzed with speculation. I remember standing outside a newsstand in downtown San Francisco, watching people nervously scan the pages. The symbols looked like something out of a madman's diary, rows of circles, triangles, and other odd shapes. The letters ended with a chilling signature, a crosshair symbol and the name Zodiac. People pored over the codes trying to crack them. 2 high school teachers in Salinas, Donald and Betty Hardin, were the first to solve it. The message was chilling in its simplicity. I like killing people because it is so much fun. The rest of the cipher offered no clues to his identity. The Zodiac struck again on September 27, 1969, this time in broad daylight at Lake Berryessa. Brian Hartnell and Cecilia Shepard were picnicking by the lake when a man in a bizarre hooded costume approached them. The hood was black, with a white crosshair symbol on the chest. He carried a gun and a knife. He tied them up and stabbed them repeatedly before leaving them to die. Amazingly, Hartnell survived and described the scene in harrowing detail. What I found most chilling was what happened next. The Zodiac called the Napa County Sheriff's Office from a payphone, calmly confessing to the attack and giving precise directions to the crime scene. By the time police arrived, Cecilia had succumbed to her injuries. The image of that hooded figure haunted me for years. The Zodiac's letters became more elaborate, mocking police efforts to catch him. One included a piece of a blood-stained shirt from his next victim, San Francisco cab driver Paul Stein, who was murdered on October 11, 1969. This time, the Zodiac struck in the heart of San Francisco, shooting Stein in his cab in the upscale Presidio Heights neighborhood. The brazen nature of the crime terrified the city. Witnesses described seeing a man calmly wiping down the cab before walking away. Police nearly caught him that night. Officers stopped a man matching his description just blocks from the scene, but let him go after a mix-up in the dispatcher's description. The Zodiac later wrote to the police, ridiculing their failure. "I was in the area the cops were searching," he said, "and they were 1 block away." The Zodiac's letters grew increasingly erratic over the next few years. He claimed to have killed 37 people, though investigators could only confirm 5. And then, just as suddenly as he appeared, he vanished. The letters stopped, the killing ceased, or so it seemed. To this day, no one knows what happened to the Zodiac. Was he caught for another crime? Did he die? Or did he simply fade into the background, content to watch as his legend grew? For those of us who lived through it, the Zodiac's reign of terror was more than just a series of crimes. It was a psychological assault. I remember locking my doors at night, glancing over my shoulder in crowded places, wondering if the man next to me could be him. Even now, decades later, his identity remains a mystery. Some believe it was Arthur Lee Allen, a convicted pedophile who fit the profile, but was never conclusively linked to the crimes. Others think the Zodiac was someone else entirely, hiding in plain sight. The Zodiac case is more than just an unsolved mystery. It's a chilling reminder of how fragile our sense of safety can be. He didn't just kill people, he made an entire community question what they thought they knew about their neighbors, their streets, and even themselves. Until next time, stay curious, stay cautious, and remember, some shadows are darker than others. Thank you for joining me on this chilling journey into the unknown. Who knows what other secrets history has left for us to uncover?